content should look like. Yes, of course. I forgot to mention that just for internal purposes, we are recording the meeting and the workshop. So I hope nobody minds about that. So as I was saying, we have detailed the participants profile. We have a structure for the platform. We have a structure for how the content should be organized. We have developed the experience design canvas that is a new element in the original plans of our course. So we have all together a number of activities already in place. What we miss now and will be the focus of the next month until April will be the development of the contents of each module. So the things that will nourish our course. And so the time frame for all partners to start really developing the contents will be between well, Wednesday, let's say, so not in this today, but Wednesday on until April. And in April 21, we really need to have all the contents collected, ready, and we will start to promote and recruit participants for the online European pilot training. In May, that's an indicative idea, but we would like really to have the course launched and started in May 21. We will be able to have, of course, the European pilot training. It's important to underline that we are still talking about a pilot training because we need the participants also to get feedback to the very first version of the training delivered. But at this stage, we will have already online up and running the platform, the final version of the experience design canvas. We will have a trainer manual developed, the user manual of the platform developed. We also need to have a clear evaluation and validation framework for the everything that has to do with the assessment of this. For the second part of 2021, then after the European online training has been delivered, we are going through the assessment of the training, which will be very important in order to fine-tune the elements of the online training. And between October and let's say in October and November, we are launching the national pilots. And the national pilots will be very much based on the experience design canvas, will be practical activities that will be run by partners with participants from the European online course as preliminary target, but then also opening a little bit more to the dimension where partner would like to run these national pilots. Everything, of course, has to be finalized by December 21 because that's the very last month of our project. And so we really want to finalize this. So with this 2021 series of deadlines in mind, today we really kick off the operational work that, again, it has already been concretely brought forward during 2020, but that now we have to really make it focused, make it concrete in terms of the contents of the modules and so on. I think this is everything from my side. I don't know, Raffaele, if you want me to also introduce the program for the afternoon.
If you want, Paolo, you can introduce just the summary of the program because after we can go deeper.
Okay, so let me share this document that you already received with the invitation to this event. So we are starting with a presentation by the team that has been working, guiding everyone during the last year. So a colleague from Fitzcarraldo as responsible for the development of the development and the coordination of the work of every partner in the course, together with Raffaele for Materahub and Emanuele for Materahub, which will introduce a little bit the changes that we have made, but also who has to do what, and some more elements around the training. Then we will have a presentation by the colleague from Hellenic Open University, which are in charge for the platform, and they will give us a presentation of the structure overview of the user experience in the platform. After these two presentations, we would like to work a little bit with all the participants. And so there will be a division of the person that are attending today's pre-pilot in 5 working groups, with a specific focus of each group on each of the module of the training. There will be one person that will be coordinating the working group, and we decided to have the content curators to take this lead in the groups. There will be a focus on what the model look like now, having a focus on any potential revision of the module contents, but very much a focus on suggesting to the partnership some specific topics, some other experts to be involved, bibliography, open educational resources that could complement the content development action that is going to happen after this pre-pilot. There will be also a focus on assessment and a strategy. There will be a focus on understanding who would be the perfect profile for this workshop and for the specific module. And then also something about how to improve the user experience of the platform. After this first round of 45 minutes, there will be a rapporteur for every group that will join the discussion with everyone else and bring the main conclusion. And we will have some 45 minutes for that. After that, everyone is free for the first day. Then tomorrow, again, we start with the presentation by Materahub of the first version of the Experience Design Canvas, which is this tool that the UHeritage project has developed in order to really go into practice while we are going to have our national pilots, and design together with the participants a new experience that is able to valorize the cultural heritage with a focus or a potential to get connected with the tourism experiences and so on. Then there will be also a discussion around this presentation. So we are eager to get from you inputs and point of views and anything that you think it's relevant to improve the canvas. Then we are going to move a little more into the details of how to design the laboratories that will happen nationally. So in the very last phase of the delivery of the training, when every partner will have to organize this national experience design lab in every country. There will be the possibility to, of course, try to give and design some elements that will be part of our plan for the national groups. And so you are invited to really bring your previous experience, your ideas or opportunities that you see after the presentation of the canvas. After that, we will have a follow-up to collect the input from all the groups, and that will complement the 2 days of pre-pilot. During the 2 days, of course, we would also like to get your feedbacks, and we would also like to get from you potential connection that our project could build with other projects you are running, particularly for the guests that do not belong to the partnership. So feel free to, provide feedbacks also at a later stage by emails or You know, even if they will not be collected during these 2 days, it's important for us to have your feedbacks. And of course, after the 2 days of the pre-pilot, we will come back to everyone in order to also assess how the pre-pilot went and so on. So this is it, I think. I don't know, Raffaele, if you want to add any other thing for the presentation?
No, thank you very much, Paolo, for your presentation. This is for the host. I said this is a very big challenge for our project. In 1 year, we will create one of the very innovative training course around the cultural heritage and cultural tourism in Europe. This is a very challenge, but I know, thanks to our colleague, our partner, and also our external friends, we will do all the activity and action to realize that. I think it's the moment to present from the side of Fitzcarraldo, if Manuela is agree, the modules. So we have collect the content of the modules. So we have collect science now. We have imagined to structure the course in 5 modules. And if Manuela very quickly explain us and show us these 5 modules, after we can go deeper with you to understand altogether if our hypothesis of structure is a final hypothesis, and if we can start our work from the next week to create all the content and for sure the online platform to realize our course from our heritage. I don't know if Manuela, you can start from an overview, very quickly overview around the 5 modules. Thank you.
Yeah, good morning to everybody. Would you like, Raffaele, to give some information about the whole structure of the training program, or I go deeply in contents?
Maybe deeply in contents, because after I can go deeper in the field of the structure. Okay.
Okay. Good morning to everybody, to Heritage friends, and nice to meet you to all other participants. I'm Emanuela. I'm a senior researcher of Fondazione Fitzcarraldo, and today I speak with my colleague Alberto Gulli and Elettra Zuliani from Fitzcarraldo side. Okay, probably I could share with you some important keywords of this training program, because for whom that join us today, for the external expert that we have today, the training program will be focused on 3 main topics. So cultural heritage, experience tourism, and digital tools. As you know, it is a very challenged topic, a very challenged theme to explore, also dealing with this new scenario that the pandemic period opened from 1 year to now. What about the structure of the training program? It will be organized in 5 different modules. We are thinking to have some more theoretical modules that give a framework on a particular topic, and some other one more practical that go deeply in a concrete way, in a concrete path to work on the ground. And the center of our training program is the canvas, the experience design canvas, as Paolo said before, that would be a very practical canvas to operate on the ground dealing with these 3 topics. So the modules are 5. We decided to have a very common structure for each module, so 4 units for each module and so on. And going deeply in contents, the module 1 will deal with cultural heritage and experience tourism for local development. So a first unit dealing with okay, what is cultural heritage in the recent framework, from UNESCO to ICOMOS definition, but also dealing with the new scenarios and strategy at European level, for example, the 21 strategy for cultural heritage and so on. Our challenge in this project is to go over the traditional cultural tourism to explore the experience tourism that deals very much with territorial values and so on. So the second unit deals with cultural tourism to experience tourism. The third unit of Module 1 go deeply in the new dimension of cultural heritage and tourism in the recent scenarios, with a particular focus on the experience cycle. So probably it's very important the experience that visitor could have on the ground, but also the phase of pre-experience and the phase of post-experience, when the visitor go back to home and tell about his experience to friends and relatives, etc. Because I forgot to say it at the beginning, that the objective of this training program is to make professionals able to create experience on the ground for beneficiaries in terms of visitors and communities. This is the objective and the goal of the training program. Going deep in contents, the last unit of Module 1 is dealing with stakeholder and local development. We are thinking to discuss with Marie and Noel about the possibility to split this unit in Module 2, because Module 2 go in a concrete way to design the experience project. And in fact, the Module 2 is focused on the project cycle management with a perspective that begin from the mission and the vision of the project, and that arrives to the very concrete aspects of the project management. Explore also the topic of visitors' profile and behavior, to understand their movement in the destination and to understand their profile, and how this experience could could be co-created also with visitors. The third module is about digital strategies and tools for cultural heritage. As you know, also the new pandemic scenarios open some new challenges that combine digital strategies together with the possibility to live and experience on the territorial area. So this module go from the understanding of the potential of digital data in the context of cultural heritage, evaluating digital skills and the possibility to interact with visitors in terms of big data, artificial intelligences, and so on. Then the new digital strategy and tools for experience-based cultural heritage sites, so dealing with the future trends in the digital fields with best practices and case studies. Then the digital marketing and communication for cultural heritage, that deals exactly with the possibility to use new ways with the social media to interact with visitors and with the experience. And then the final part, designing the digital experience for visitors, because as you know, each module have the last unit that is very practical, very concrete. The fourth module deals with entrepreneurial approach for cultural heritage, and in particular the entrepreneurship for cultural heritage management. The entrepreneurship skill is a key element for a new management of cultural heritage, so with a specific focus dealing with the ENCATC European framework, and then how a cultural experience could be business developed, also with the new role of professionals in the cultural heritage. Then financial management for cultural heritage and tourism sector, how we could go through a fundraising approach, how we could implement a financial plan, a financial approach with a specific focus with possible different financial models. Then entrepreneurship strategies for innovative cultural heritage experiences. I would like to say before concluding this overview that each module had a content curator, so a partner of the partnership in charge of developing contents. So this is the result of a very discussed process. So this concept these contents are the result of this project. The last module deals with sustainability, impact measurement, and project evaluation, in the idea that the possibility to understand and monitor the process and the project is not a topic to be implemented at the end of the project, but that have to be implemented at the beginning of the process in terms of output and outcome to be measured. So what is social impact and what is the possibility to measure this impact? So the first unit deals exactly with this concept around sustainability and impact measurement. Then what we could say about the evaluation, what kind of approach we could implement dealing with evaluation in culture and tourism, the second unit. The third unit is, okay, how we could do it for this project, dealing with this experience. So this is a proposition of a method, of an approach to be implemented. And the last one is dealing with case studies. I have to say a last thing, dealing with this training program. We are discussing to introduce also at the European training program, probably in module 1, the experience design canvas. That is the focus of the national training program, but that could be an added value to be presented in this also European training program. I don't know, Raffaele, if you would like to introduce it, or probably we will do it tomorrow. I think that I finished by my side. I don't know if the colleague from Fitzcarraldo would like to add something, or... I know that for external experts of today is a very quick overview, but if you have some questions or doubts or observation, there will be the time to discuss in roundtables.
Yeah, exactly. Don't worry, because your feedback and suggestion very valuable for us. We can bring directly in the group, in the working group. So in general, thanks to Emanuela, the idea and the challenge for this project is to create in 1 year, in this way, we have 1 year, a very useful tools and outcome. From one side, for students, for sure, we have 2 universities in our partnership, but there are a lot of universities in Europe very interesting to this kind of course and this kind of approach. So one of our beneficiary potential target are the students. From the other side, for sure, there are also professionals who work inside of cultural heritage fields or tourism in connection with heritage, for sure. Imagine the different soul of this world. From one side, maybe also public expert and professional, so people who work inside of the public administration, but also people who work inside of a private administration. So for this reason, the idea was to split the project and the outcome into different outcomes. So that is the idea. From one side, the European international course presented by Emanuela, and from the other side, to create a testing moment, a practical moment, with this heritage experience design canvas who tomorrow we present you. Today, our challenge is to involve yourself in a sort of review, work of review to our modules to understand if there are something who can add or who can modify. In general, we have also one important topic to discuss today is to align this draft of the course presented by Emanuela in a very useful structure for an online training. This is important because our ambition with this project is to realize the entire course to align the entire course more or less in 20 AQF credits. So to align, to arrive to this kind of, to achieve this goal, the idea is to have more or less 20 units for all the course. So if we have 5 modules, our idea and our challenge is to create for each module more or less 4 units. For sure, we know not all the modules now are aligned to this topic. The idea is also to bring your suggestion today to close our work and to imagine how we can identify this final version. For example, there is the module 2, who maybe can be can transform the module, the colleagues from Malta, in a module splitting in 4 units, for example. After that, our ambition is also to create a lot of content. For sure, we have prepared, imagine, a training online, very rich about content, and for 20 credits. So the idea is to split each unit in 3 subunits. This is our challenge in this way. Also to simplify the connection from the students and the platform, and to create a very fun, effective funnel for the students directly online. So 1 module, 4 units, more or less. Maybe if there will be 3 units, we can enlarge the number of content. Each unit, 3 subunits. And the idea is to create a different way to show this unit, to collect this content for each of these units, sorry. The idea is to create the content in different way. So for each unit, we will collect the open educational resources, OER. You know, there are a lot of possibility, an infinity of possibility online to find videos, article, academic or not, and so on, a different kind of podcast, if you're thinking about the content in a listening way. So the idea is to collect for each of that unit some open educational resources. For sure, bibliography or cytography and test. And after, we have imagined for each subunit to create more or less 1 video lecture, 30 minutes maximum, with the teacher, maybe one of our colleagues, to explain, to go to describe in general the topic and the content of the subunit, and also just 30 slides. This is our proposal, also following the suggestion from our partner and our friends Panagiotta, who will create the web platform. And thanks to Panagiotta, because after she explained us more better which is the online strategy for us. But in general, for each subunit, we have imagined only 30 slides to touch and to go deeper inside of all topic. The target group for our courses, it will be more or less 15 persons per country. For sure, for the online international course, we speak about the students. So more or less 100 potential participants for the beta version. So starting from the end of May, June maximum to September, an online course directly. And after this period, as Paolo mentioned before, we will go directly all together in a national dimension with the strategic national pilot, but we will discuss about this tomorrow. This is our core. Before Panagiota explain us the strategy about the platform of our courses, I put yourself inside of this presentation, who I was shared with you through the chat of Zoom. And here, this is an interactive presentation, so you can write. You have the, all of you as the editor, as an editor, and can describe it and can create the content on the presentation. So the idea for the next minutes is to help me to create the group, of the working group for Zoom. So please, in the field of each of topic for each modules, especially the hosting people for today, you can put in one of that group your name. We have imagined maximum 7 people for each group. So the prior for me to you is to introduce yourself, to insert your name in one of the group who maybe it's maybe because you have more confidential for that topic, or you have an experience about this kind of project on course, and you can bring us your precious feedback and suggestion. That's all. So the slide is, I think, the number 15. You can start from now to write your name, and I invite Panagiota to present the platform structure, because it's also another important info we need today to go deeper in the working group.
Yes, hello, Raffaele. Hello to everyone. Thank you for this introduction concerning the course. I'm afraid that my connection is not very stable. So in case I have any technical problem, I will invite Christos. He's my colleague from, is a professor in University of Patras and a colleague in the DayZ research team of HAU to complete the presentation. So hopefully we don't have any problems, and I can start with the presentation of the platform. As we have decided in this course, we will have an e-learning platform. HAU is the partner who is responsible for the design and development of the e-learning platform and the tools that we will use for the better e-learning experience of the students and professionals in the platform. So give me a second to share my screen. Okay, is it okay? Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
Great. Okay, thank you, thank you. So a few things before starting with the actual presentation of what we have achieved so far, is to say a little bit about what is the Working Package 5. We have, as I said before, HAU is responsible for the design development of the online e-learning platform. So what we have to deliver for this course, for this project, sorry, is actually to design the online platform, to deliver the initial version. And this is something that we will show you today, the initial version of the online platform. We will create an initial version of the user manual, how the user, the learner, will be able to navigate through the platform and actually study the material. Then after the feedback that we will receive after the closure of the platform and the course, we will create first of all, we have the evaluation report, and based on the evaluation feedback, we will create the final version of the platform and the user manual. So this e-learning platform, of course, will support the online learning approach. It will be an online space for trainers, trainees, the community members, stakeholders will all be able to communicate and learn through this course. Of course, it will be a space for the learning resources, the learning objects, which will be available for the learners for download and study. The platform will support the online, the blended learning, and also the collaborative, let's say, learning communities that we will create through this course. The platform is available for supporting the social media. So somebody who will enter the platform at the same time who will have access also to the social media of this project. And we will be able to maintain the content and able then, after the feedback, as I said before, to update the final version of the course on the platform. So as I said, we will have the platform as a repository in order to target the needs of the trainer and the tutor. So we will have an inquiry-based learning approach based on metadata with keywords that somebody will be able to search for the specific learning object or topic or subject, whatever. And then through this experience, through the online platform, we will be able to enable the knowledge transfer and the creation of new knowledge, because as correctly Emmanuel described before, we have the theoretical and the practical side of this course. Now, through this link, as you see, it is the link where we decide the space where we upload all the platforms, all the MOOCs, the massive open online courses that we create as HOU. You see some bullets of previous projects that for courses that have been already fulfilled. So this is the link that through this site, the learner will be able to register and get involved in this course. I have, okay, it's not very clear now, but we have, I can, Christos, if it's possible to share the link to the guests and the partners here, the link with the introductory page of what is the course about. This introduction gives to the learners some information regarding the course, to whom this is the course is about, is to what we will achieve through this course, the structural debate of the specific course and how many hours, how many modules, that it is of course free of charge, very important. And then how to earn the certificate after successful completion of this course. Of course, the creators, all authors are involved in the design development of this course, so you can see the logo of all partnership. Once somebody gets in and is registered in the platform, you'll be able to see the first page of the course. Now you can see we have put the graphic elements of the project in the top, in the middle and top of the page. You can see the 3 different fora that the partners will be able to contact and communicate with all the learners and all the professionals, either the students or professionals, everybody who is involved in this course. Then after the introduction, you will see the introduction. It is the yellow, let's say, tab. And then for each module, the learner will be able to click on the button and see and study actually the specific module. On the left side, the learner will be able to have access also to the social platform that we have created. And as I said before, the social media of the UHeritage project, and a calendar where all the events that the tutors will be able to notify the learners for specific events and specific issues related to the calendar of this course. So once somebody clicks on the introduction, we have given so far a very brief description of the project. And then afterwards, the learner actually can download the manual, the guide on how to navigate in the platform. We will create a PDF for that, so that it's easy to, it is accessible to everyone. Of course, in the introduction, we can add also an introductory, let's say, video, and a video that welcomes the learners to the whole course, and say some things about the whole course, about the modules, the 5 modules, and what the course is about. Then since we have so far a final version of module 1 with the collaboration of Fitzcarraldo, Emanuela, we have worked on how it should be shown, the module 1 in the platform. So we have a very brief description of the module. Then the learner will be able to learn more about the education strategy, what is for this module, what he should or she should do in order to deliver and fulfill the whole module. Then what you will learn. Actually, during the first module, the learner will be introduced to the specific topics, and then we have the title of the units, the 4 units that we said that each module has, and then you see the picture with the title of each unit. So if somebody clicks in each of the specific unit 1, 2, 3, 4, you see a relevant photo, the title, can access the specific unit. Then in each unit, we have, again, a photo, a relevant photo, a description of what the specific unit is about, the learning outcomes, because after the completion of the specific unit, the learner will be able to, and we have a list of specific learning outcomes that we expect the learner to achieve after each unit. Then we have a forum in each unit, and then you can see the titles of the 3 subunits. Finally, somebody can go with the assessment after reading the whole unit and the subunits and the learning objects, everything, can go and assess the knowledge that he has received by clicking on the assessment for unit 1.1 and doing the multiple choice quizzes. These are close-ended questions for self-evaluation. This is a presentation of how it is shown the subunits. For example, if somebody enters the subunit 1.1 of unit 1, he can see again a very brief description, and then we have if he clicks next, then he will be able to go with the specific learning object. Either, we said, could be a video or a paper or a book chapter, anything that the authors, the partners, will select for the proper study of the specific subunit. So if somebody finishes the subunit, so you see some specific tabs how to navigate, and he can review the lesson, meaning the subunit. He can go to the next subunit, continue. He will return to the whole module 1, so to see again all the units and the subunits, or even to go back in the beginning on the course overview with the 5 modules. The assessments, is we're talking about course, the assessment, as I said before, is very important also in the course. We will prepare some multiple choice questions. The learner will be able to go with the multiple choice question, fill in the test, and do some try of attempts, several attempts, in order to find the correct answer, and then finish successfully the specific unit. This is an example of how the questions will appear in the learner. By clicking the attempt quiz now, the learner could start answering the quiz. So this page provides information about the quizzes, the quiz navigation. On the left, you see that the learner is able to know how many quizzes he has to take. He will be able to start a new preview to do again the test, and finally, in the final page of the quizzes, just to finish the attempt. After finishing all the assessments, if the learner is satisfied with his or her answer, he can click the submit all and finish this specific button. So that means that for the system means that the quest is finalized and it starts the automatic grading. By that means that the student at any time can know his progress. And of course, if you want to change the answers, you can go back and return to the attempt button. Now, as I said before, communication also, apart from the fora, the learner will be able to send a private message if he doesn't want to ask it through the fora, but rather to have a more direct communication with the tutor. He'll be able, next to the profile, there is a bullet where he can send and select the name of the tutor and send a private message. And of course, the tutor is notified about this question and will be able to reply. Apart from the e-learning platform, we have also the UHERDAS platform EU. This is the social platform where all the tutors, all the partners can create some topics and some subjects for discussion, for exchange of ideas with stakeholders, with learners, in order to expand the experience, let's say. It has nothing to do with the learning, but it's only for communication purposes. I have prepared what we need to do next. I don't know, Raffaele, if you want me to continue, because this is project-based issues, or just to show you a thing that...
No, I think Manajota is enough, because yeah, after we need a more technical meeting with the friends of the partnership to go deeper inside the detail. The idea for today, it was only to imagine the entire structure, the connection from our content for the course, and the space, the virtual space on the platform where we need to fill in all the content. So the idea now is to starting the working group, and just to come back to the group in the slide 15. Yeah, we have not a real balanced situation. So there are 2 people or 3 who don't mention themselves inside of this table. And please, if some of us can work also together with the Friends of La Cultura in the group 5, for me was more effective, because we need to balance. Some of you, I was put inside all the friends of M2C and who inside of group 3, but now you are 9 people. I don't know if it's...
Raffaele, I don't see the same as you in group 5. I see 5 people.
Okay.
I don't know if it's not updated.
Now I see 3 people.
I think it's just a different page. That's why she sees.
The slide is the slide number 15, because the other slide is for tomorrow. So the first slide who you need to compile is the slide 15. Okay. Oh, perfect. So Anda was moving from the group 3 to group 5. Thank you, Anda. Sarah, no, maybe it's more interesting if you, oh, okay, no, it's okay also, Sarah. Sorry, but no, Sarah, please, in the group 2, because you are involved in the creative design canvas, so it's important to collect feedback from there. And Nuria, you move yourself from another group. Please help me, which is your first choice?
Yes, I chose the module 1.
Ah, okay. And now
tourism, but I can
to...
move to group 5 if it's needed.
Okay, and also, Panajota, I can move yourself from 3 to 4. Perfect. Thank you. And also Christophe, I think. Perfect. If you want, Christophe, you can remain to the module 4. And I can change. Thanks, Maria. Thanks, Mary. Also from University of Malta. So from group 2 to group 5. Perfect. So I hope all the group was aligned. My group, I show here, was aligned to the group of the Zoom. I can start the working group. The mission from each of working group is this. You have, after this slide, each group have 2 slides. One, for example, in group 1 is the slide to present the structure of the course with all content. And the second is a working slide. So this slide is to collect your suggestion, your comment, your question about 4 kinds of topic. About unit and subunit. So if you want, you can put inside of this post-it some comments, some suggestions, but also you can modify directly the structure of the module 1, for example. Please highlight your changes, different color and something else. Another topic is about platform. If you have question, curiosity, or suggestion, coming from other experience after the Panajota presentation. Another topic is about participant profile. So, for example, for the module 2, which is the best profile in your mind for students for the international course? Maybe some question also, but also some suggestion. Pay attention, or I know, I don't know, an international network where a lot of people, a lot of young people will be interested in your course, something around this. And in the end, if you have time, about assessment, so some suggestion or question about assessment in relationship with the modules assigned for your group. There are 5 facilitators for each group coming from the partner or the content curator of the group, so they help you. The idea is to fill in your content and comment directly on the PowerPoint. That's all. I think we are ready, and we come back in 45 minutes in this plenary, in the plenary, to collect your feedback, to open a discussion after your work. Okay? So thank you very much for the attention, and I can put yourself inside of the rooms. Io vado di là. No, così non ti disturbo. Cazzi tuoi, no? Ioannis, which kind of group you prefer? 1, 2, 3, 4. You are two for
I don't know. I was with Jota, so in order to talk about the technical, about the platform. So
okay, 3. So 1 second, because I need to move Mudze on the group 2. Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. See you after. And Ioannis in group 3. Perfect. Hi, guys. Welcome to the real world. I think, can you hear me? Yeah? I think the group 1 don't understand who whole of notes or suggestion who it was collected. We need to see on the slide online. So maybe Manuela, after you can add the contribution from your group on the online slide, because it's like a report for us. They remain there, so it's a very effective work. Thank you for all the hosts. So I think it's the moment to present in very quickly way, in general, no, the results from all the group work, starting from the group 1. I don't know if Manuela is ready to start your presentation.
Yeah, I think that I could give the floor to Emanuele, that was the rapporteur of this group. We had a very interesting discussion. Yeah, I don't know, because we are only discuss, and I think that, but I asked to Emanuele if we have some. Okay. We could, Emanuele, we could discuss directly on the structure of the handbook, or you would like to ask some minutes more to write down the reflection on the slide?
As you prefer. You can have just, you can share just your impression, your suggestion, or you have mentioned during your discussion, because I know the core of the discussion is in your mind, and yes, just a prior to put inside of the slide as soon as possible, because it's a common good for all. Okay, so you or the Manuela, you can share.
I go. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm having just a problem with inserting, because we wrote separately the comments of our group. There was we are talking about group 1 and the module 1. So there was initial discussion about what concept of cultural tourism and cultural heritage we were working on, and specifically about who the course is aimed to. If, of course, not only to university level student, undergraduate or postgraduate level, but also to professionals that could also take not only the course, but also subunit as for their own advantage. One of the aspects that emerged was to stress the focus on community, in particular on the immaterial culture element. So Emanuela was adjusting also I don't know if Emanuela can show also the adjustment that we have done already on the module to be able to follow. There was also a specific stress on the input towards local administration, usually charged of managing the cultural heritage, and to leave also time and space for connection between the different set of stakeholders involving, again, local communities. Very much stress has been discussed about, particularly now during the COVID time, how important is more and more to work on the local involvement towards a new concept of culture, not aimed only to, as usually we were doing in the West, doing to the tourists, but to local community. And again, to finish, one issue was also that, as we said,
Emanuele, I share the screen with the observation.
With the one and in subunit 11.3 was again to discuss about well-being and what we call nowadays cultural welfare as one of the most important issues that will come back in module 4, I think, where actually in terms of enterprise to work more on the social impact that this kind of new activity could bring. And finally, I would say, not to take much more time, an issue was also about the problem of legislation, European versus local legislation on cultural heritage, how to aim to a more European unique vision on these issues. On the platform specifically, not much has been discussed, but appreciating the work of the platform, but saying the motto was make things easy for the platform. That is, in order to be available to a different set of stakeholders, would be quite crucial to make the platform as easy as it possible can be for a more shared use. I don't know, Emanuele, if you want to add more things on this, but it was very fruitful discussion.
Yeah, I really would like to thank you for their generosity, Kai, Gumercido, and Jose, for the discussion. And I would like to add only 2 considerations that we discussed at the beginning of the conversation. The one is deal with the profile of participants that could be involved in the European training program. And also this topic is dealing with the team of stakeholder in unit 1.4. Probably we discussed that we have to create a link as a participant between cultural heritage professional, museum, cultural sites, and so on, DMOs professional, so destination management organization professional, public bodies, and local stakeholders. And as some of this consideration will have an impact on the development of unit 1.4, where we could analyze this relationship but also dealing with the participant of the European training program. As probably Kai said, it will be very important to involve also public institutions to make them aware of this topic of the experience and on the importance to reflect on the valorization of the destination. So I think that this was a crucial point of our discussion. And and we discussed also the topic about the role of community. That will be a challenge to be understand during the module 1, a common path that we will have to study in module 1.
Perfect.
Now we will complete the slide.
Really, really nice. Thank you so much. Module 2, Alberto, maybe?
Shall I go? I will share my screen.
Sara is the rapporteur.
So as for our group, about the units and subunits, we stressed the importance of restructuring into 4 units with 3 subunits each. And these are 3 of them. It is still to be made clearer how to structure them, but those which mustn't miss are strategy and project cycle management, which is already inside, but with a stronger focus on tools. So providing a list of useful tools for project management, especially because often beneficiaries or hypothetical beneficiaries of this training course do not always have project management knowledge because it's not a course provided in every university and every course. And also stakeholder management should not miss, intended more with their involvement and monitoring, which is different from identifying stakeholders, which can happen on the other hand in the first unit, as Alberto was underlining. And the third unmissable point is that the visitor profiling with more audience, the visitor profiling should include more audience development tools and also stress the importance of retaining the audience throughout the whole experience cycle. Here I added both physical and digital touch points, just as a reminder of how important they are to be considered, and we will focus on them more tomorrow with the experience design canvas. Then 2 doubts, 2 questions have emerged. The first one is from Dorina, what's the exact connection between units 1 and 2? Because apparently, and I understand that they didn't have a clear connection. As a sort of solution, I suggested that there could be some sort of transition from the unit dealing with the stakeholder management and the audience development. So maybe, I don't know, something like the last stakeholder mentioned could be the audience, and then as a transition, we could step into the following unit to make this connection clearer. So thanks, Dorina. And it can be also, Alberto underlines, something I just said before. So I will just leave this. So about the platform, just compliments apparently. And Aline suggests that maybe it could include a timeline or roadmap where the attending students can record briefly the steps and their management, planning, testing, and researching. So these steps that you mentioned before, probably Panagiota, and Okay, and it could be used to give a concrete link between the two subunits and also as a resource for success stories and self-assessment, which is a very useful suggestion. I will put this in bold. And for the assessments, there was a doubt from Albania because it's not so clear how this course will be integrated in the university credits, with which agreements. And Uni Malta underlined that it can be included as optional, as part of the optional courses in the study plan. And the strength of this training in the integration with the rest of the courses could probably be that it provides skills such as project management, but catered specifically to culture and heritage, which doesn't always happen, because sometimes they provide this for the tourism industry, but not focusing on culture. So let's now step into the participants' profile, which can be, of course, students and professionals, but also aspiring professionals. Not, I mean, those who are in the middle and would like to work in this field, but they're not clearly culture professionals. So if anyone from group 2 wants to add something, you can, so go on, please.
Nice. Thank you for all the members of the group, and thank you, Sarah, to this reply. For the third group, who is the rapporteur?
We didn't discuss about it, but I think I can take over. I'd also like to share my screen for that. Can you see it? And is it the right one? Okay, now I can't hear you anymore, Rafaela, but I guess you said yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we were talking about Module 3 on digital strategies and tools for cultural heritage. So in our group, first we had some discussions, or we went through the contents again, and specifically about some unclarities about what they contain and how the units and subunits are named. There were some comments that, for example, maybe blogging, as we choose, might be too specific. It might rather be about online content or creating online content in general, to also include other things than text-based media. We had some specific discussions and questions about the platform. The one was that it was stressed out that the individual connection of the students to the platform, but also amongst each others and to the tutors, is very important. That kind of led us to the question, for once, if the pilot that we're going to have during this year, are the participants supposed to take the whole course? And if yes, how is that going to work time-wise? And or how it's going to be organized otherwise? And then also, I think this was briefly discussed also in our meeting in Malta, what or how is the course supposed to be structured after the pilot phase? So if it's a in a cycle where people start at the beginning all together and then end at the end together, or if it's like people can join at their own pace as a online MOOC enables. And that also led to some questions recurring the assessments, specifically how this can be, how this can be assessed in those ways. There was also the idea brought up of not only having the multiple choice answers, but also having some still multiple choice, but more scenario-based questions, instead of having something is right or wrong, but having it right or wrong in a certain context. And the ideas, I think also group 2 mentioned it, of having some peer review or even self-reviewed evaluation. And yeah, we also spoke about the participants profile. For the students, we listed a whole range of different students, also figured out the question of undergraduate, postgraduates, and also that even now with Bologna process and everything, still countries have a different educational approach. Some courses don't exist in these countries that exist in another one. And that finally led us to this question of if the target group we're looking at, is it clear enough, or is it too broad, or should it be even broader? So these were mostly general questions for the whole consortium. Yes.
Okay.
Did I miss anything? Anyone else from our group want to add something?
Thank you very much, Lawrence. And I think also there are some very key point, for example, the peer review way, for the, and also I think we will discuss with the partnership after this meeting around the figure of the tutor, and the role of the tutor. This is, keep in mind that. Okay, thank you very much. For the group 4, our reporter is Sophie.
Let me share my screen. Stop broadcast. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So our group was about the entrepreneurial approach for cultural heritage. We had some nice feedback from Luca about our module being of really good relevance nowadays, because a lot of people are reshaping their business models. So thank you, Luca, for that positive comment. The Untracom framework is obviously something that is very useful and was highlighted by Luca as well. Eletra said some useful information about maybe adding some partnership and collaboration point of view in the unit. So that's something we're going to look into, about who is the community we want to involve, and we would have to be careful about that because in module 2, it's already approached. So we'll have to think about this a little more. The importance of giving examples and case studies is something that was highlighted as well, because it's always nice to have clear examples. It gives more impact to the lessons. We realized that Panajota had a lot of content that she worked on as well, and that was not in our module. So we will combine her research and work with ours. So the module will be reshaped, I think, a little bit. Notably about European Capital of Culture. This is an approach that we haven't mentioned in the module that could be very interesting, and all the business that comes out of it. For the profile, it was raised that we need to come to an agreement on what kind of profile we want to focus on. Should it be students that are beginners and don't really have a strong background in cultural heritage understanding and in general, or should we focus on people who already are studying or are looking to become professionals and open their own businesses in the cultural heritage sector? So this is something that needs to be discussed with the partners and decided. Also, if we want to have professionals, it's a very different approach, because professionals, when they join this kind of MOOC, they are looking for something at the end also, something concrete. So with the others, we discussed a way to find some kind of reward or award at the end of the module for each professionals, instead of just having credits for the students. So badges were suggested and certificates. it's very important to link it with the platform as well. As Elettra suggested, that it could be better to be flexible and to let participants to choose if they want to go through all the modules or just some of the modules. So it has to be decided if all the modules are mandatory, for example, or some modules can be open, and how to go from one module to the other. Do you have to unlock the next session, or can you just access it like this? So these were the main questions that were raised, and I think needs to be discussed with the partners to find out.
Thank you, Sophie. Yeah, really a lot of suggestion, feedback. Thanks, really thanks to all. Finally, the last but not least, group 5, which is the rapporteur. You have decided, or there is a volunteer? Anna.
Hello. Hello, this is Anna from La Cultura with Concha. And thank you to all the people that have been working with us that give really interesting information and suggestions. I am going to share briefly with you what we, sorry. Concha, do you have, no, I have it, okay, sure. Okay. I am sharing the screen. No, no. Okay. So sorry. Our module is sustainability, impact measurement, and project evaluation. So we share with the group our mind map of how all the units are interrelated. The first unit with the 3 subunits is mainly why this debate about sustainability is around us. And the second unit is why it's important for cultural sector, and why sometimes this debate is seemed like so far away from the cultural and heritage and cultural tourism. So, and which are the challenges and the possibilities of making these measurements. So the core of this module is like, as you can see, the center of this mind map is how you can measure your own initiative, cultural initiative, or cultural institutions. So the idea is to design a process, to have tools, and to have some different possibilities to make it tailored to your level, how you can measure your output and your outcomes. And we want to work with 3 case studies. The idea is each case study is going to be measured, which is the state of art, the starting point at measurement and evaluation point, which are their needs, if they have needs to communicate, if they have needs to survive or to have fundraising or something like that, and how they can achieve in terms of evidence and measure that it could be realistic and they can afford. So, and we want to try to show it in an easy way. In that way, they can see through the lesson, through the experience, how to measure their own project or cultural project. And the feedback that the people from our working group give us is you can show the PowerPoint, Paolo, or
just one second.
Yeah. Okay. That one. So they suggest us to be consistent in terms of the approach in the very beginning. what clarify what's sustainability, and if in terms of if we are going to measure institutional sustainability, visitor experience, or the impact in the community, because there are many levels of sustainability. And also to have in mind that there are European but also international approach, not only the UNESCO indicators project, but also some other approach from other continents like Africa or Asia, to focus on show the advantage of using data for fundraising, for survival, for communication possibilities. And also to take into account that there are different realities in each European country. For example, we discussed that in some countries there are no data available, but and there are no experience on measuring in the cultural sector. But there are other countries that where there are a lot of data that is available, but is not being used for communication purpose or to be transparent. But there are other countries that are providing this data, and they are really transparent. So about the platform, we have the idea of having a variety of case studies to focus on both profiles, on the students and professional. And someone also suggests if it could be different contents for the students and for professionals, because they consider that the participant profiles is students, not only at early stage students, and also professional could be different. Professional could be interested, but not all the professional, as you said before in other modules. In module 2, perhaps it could be more the management professional, and not only cultural professional. Also, it could be cultural professional from other sectors. And about the assessment, we have some doubts about if there is some other possibilities of assessment that could be not only automatic. And someone says that not only multiple choice could be used, also a test in which the student has to fill the blanks and using the keywords of the module. But perhaps about the assessment, it would be great to have a case study or something practical. But we have some doubts about the possibility of having an automatic assessment about this. So this is the reflections.
Thank you very much, Anna. I think tomorrow we will come back, especially to your scheme and table about the impact, because it's useful also for our canvas. So if you agree, we can close now, 30 minutes before, also to, because this is, I think, a good news, especially for our host. We stole an afternoon from you, but seeing the results, I'd say we did well. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for all of you. And we come back tomorrow in a more very similar situation, but to discuss with this new adventure relationship with the Canvas. Our proposal is a sort of summarizing with a lot of tools that already exist around the European and international panorama. So I think it will be really interesting to share also with you this interesting, important tools we will create. Thank you very much. So see you tomorrow. I think at the same link, but if you have some problem, we resend you tomorrow morning another link, don't worry. If some of you has some question very quickly, or we can close definitely, and we come back tomorrow. Thank you so much. Perfect. So bye-bye to all.
Bye-bye.
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 Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much.
Bye, thank you.
Bye, adios.